Hi, I'm Tim Burns, and you're watching Oakland Connection. I'm pleased to be joined by Dr. Devang Doshi from Beaumont Hospital and Joan Horton from the Clawson DDA. Thanks for being on the show today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, Doctor, we've had you on the show before to talk about children's food allergies, and I thought it might be nice for you to join us again because Halloween's coming up, and for some people that could be a scary time with kids if they have allergies. And if you were like myself, before my daughter had food allergies, I really was ignorant to some of the dangers and problems, and so it might be important for people as they're getting ready to get those Halloween treats to know what they might want to be careful about giving out to the kids who come knocking at their door.
Yeah, I mean, I think today in this time and age of food allergy awareness, and I think as it becomes more prevalent in the community, I think if we're able to provide safe treats for all people, all patients, all individuals that have food allergies in general, and make sure that we're providing a safe environment for our children to be able to go and enjoy a nice evening out with their family, I think is really important. What we're seeing, though, is it's really, really challenging, you know, especially if your family has not ever been exposed to or dealt with food allergies with anybody in their family. It's really hard to know what happens, and more importantly, how safe we really have to be. So I think, especially when we get into times where Halloween comes into play and we're into a beautiful time of the year, we really want to make sure that if we've got children that have food allergies, we have to be very, very diligent in making sure that we're avoiding, you know, any possibility that they may have an adverse reaction or possible contamination with any of the foods.
Now, I know I get hay fever real bad, and I get all stuffed up, and I'm just miserable, have headaches, and, you know, you can start to cough. So I think a lot of times when people hear about allergies, they think the same thing. Oh, well, if they do have a reaction, you know, maybe they'll be a little miserable, but it's not going to kill them. But actually, it can be pretty dangerous, can't it?
Yeah, I think, you know, that's one of the most difficult concepts, and I think biggest misconception of food allergies is that a little won't do much. It's just going to cause maybe skin symptoms, watery, itchy eyes, and that's absolutely incorrect. A small amount of protein from a peanut or a tree nut or something that a child or an adult is allergic to can be life-threatening. Now, one example is if you're allergic to bees, people always are very terrified of being around bees because they know if they get stung and they've had a reaction in the past, it could be life-threatening. Well, I think the same thing holds true for people that have peanut and tree nut allergies or food allergies in general. It really doesn't take a lot, and if they're very, very allergic or highly sensitized to those foods and they have an accidental ingestion or contact, these things can be equally as dangerous and equally as life-threatening.
Right. And you have an office here in Royal Oak, and you also work out of the hospital in Royal Oak for Beaumont. And, you know, have you seen locally, is this a growing and big problem?
This is huge. I mean, we see it both within the hospital system. You know, it's unfortunate, but we get several ER visits on a regular basis with accidental food allergy reactions. We see the same thing in the outpatient clinic setting, both in the subspecialty clinic at Beaumont Children's Hospital as well as in my own office in Royal Oak. The same exact thing where people accidentally get into contact, or inadvertently they may have never known that they've had an allergy to a certain food and have had a reaction, and then they come in as a new patient. So these are things, you know, this is a life-altering problem when parents are faced with dealing with a child with food allergies. The first thing we sit down and tell them that this is going to be something that's going to change and alter the rest of your lives as you continue to care for your child.
Well, I know at Halloween, when I was younger, that was one of my favorite times of the year. I remember sitting together with my friends a few days before Halloween. We'd actually draw up maps to figure out where the best candy spots were, and we time it out so we get to all those houses before it got too late. And I was sharing with Joan Horton here from the Clawson DA the frustration I was having as a dad, having enjoyed that so much and feeling that to some extent we were being excluded from events because of the dangers that my daughter faced and, you know, risks that we didn't want to take for her own benefit. And I want to applaud Joan because she really stepped up and she said, you know, that's not right. We should do something so that everybody can enjoy Halloween and not feel like they're in danger or not comfortable. And Joan's going to talk a little bit about the food allergy-friendly Halloween event that the Clawson DDA is doing based upon that conversation.
That's right. This is our fifth year to do trick-or-treating in downtown Clawson. It's the second year that we're doing it as an allergy-friendly event. And we did that because of the conversation with you, Tim, having two children, twins, one not having allergies and the other that does, and hearing about some of those troubles. We thought, how unfair is that? You can't go out. I went out with my with my brothers and sisters on Halloween, and the same thing. We, ran house to house. How exciting to think that one couldn't go would be devastating. So this, I learned a lot. Not having any contact before with food allergies. My only experience is a cousin highly allergic to bees. So this was a real learning experience for us, and I think we had a great event, a wonderful turnout. The children who didn't have allergies didn't find it objectionable. That was still candy. I don't think but we didn't hear from anybody that said, "Oh, that wasn't any good." It was still a lot of sugar and more candy than I thought would be allowable. I thought it would be much more restricting. So it was really a learning for us.
Right.
And a lot more toys. We substituted not just candy, but little trinkets and other things. So it was a good time.
And it worked out well enough. We're doing it again this year, right?
We're doing it again this year on Saturday, September 27th.
October 27th?
October 27th, yes. There is no preview in September.
There we go.
There will be an event October 27th on Saturday from 12 to 3. It'll be downtown Clawson. They'll go from businesses to business. And Dr. Doshi will be there, as he did last year, had a tent set up, and we hope to even have a few more people out on the passing out candy and enjoying the event.
And that is the Saturday right before Halloween.
Right before Halloween, yep.
Okay, great. And, I think what's great about the event, too, as well, it's helping a good cause. It's also introducing people to what's really turning into a great little downtown with restaurants and shops, and encourage people to stop by and check out some of the things while you're doing your trick-or-treating, and maybe after the event down the road, come back and do some more shopping or enjoy eating down in Clawson.
Learn about downtown Clawson.
So.
It's really a nice, family-friendly little town. We want more people to come see it.
And you encourage the kids to dress up?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's the fun. In fact, earlier in the month, we even have a costume swap going on. So,
okay. And when is that taking place?
There is a 2 weeks set aside where they can turn in costumes, pick up a ticket, and then come for swap day. And I'm sorry, I don't have that with me right now.
But I'm sure we can find it on your website, right?
You can, downtownclawson.com.
All right, great. And in regards to Joan talking about the food still tasting good, I think there's a perception that if it's healthy for you or if it's not, it's safe for the food allergies and it must be bad to eat. But that's not real. That's more of a stereotype, isn't it, Dr. Doshi?
It is. I mean, there's always going to be alternative foods that we can find and to make it fun for everybody. And I think having events like this in a wonderful community that's really opening up and addressing this growing epidemic, really, and increasing the awareness, I think, and providing a very safe environment for all children. It doesn't necessarily have to be anyone that is dealing with food allergies, people that just want to come and see what it's about, learn about the city, learn about food allergies, meet and enjoy a fun-filled day and dress up with other children and go and get some fun treats and things that will be hypoallergenic or at least allergy-friendly.
Right.
I think it would be it's a wonderful event, and I think the more that we raise awareness with this in communities like Clawson, I think is going to be, it's great. It's wonderful for families that are dealing with this, and the more support that we're able to provide families that are going through this, I think is a really, really good positive note to send.
Now, for those people that are just going out trick-or-treating in their neighborhood, or maybe going to something like the Zubu at the Detroit Zoo, or I think Greenfield Village has an open trick-or-treat event, those types of things. As a parent of someone with a food allergy, what tips would you give them to kind of make sure their kids are safe when they're going out and about?
Yeah, I think if you've got a child that has food allergies and you are taking them out trick-or-treating, I think it's really important to make sure that a responsible grown-up is going out with all of the medications and an adrenaline device in case there is an inadvertent reaction or something unexpected, a flashlight, and if the child is experiencing any symptoms, they really need to be able to communicate that with the parent or caretaker so that we can intervene earlier. You know, it's always hard to take a child away from a very fun day or evening. I mean, I remember Halloween vividly as a child and looking forward to it, much like you did.
Right.
And you know, to have somebody have to stop, you know, because they're having a reaction or an issue, the child's really not going to want to do that unless they're really forced to. So I think just being careful, having all the medications in place, and having a responsible grown-up flashlight, and making sure that we're being as safe as possible, I think is very important.
And say, you know, you haven't had experiences like it before my daughter had her incident. You know, I really hate to say it, I was ignorant about the issues with food allergies, and they at times have been a little bit inconsiderate to people myself. You know, now that I've experienced it, you know, I'm trying to be more considerate, not just on this issue, but other issues that I see people are dealing with. But say you're going out to buy that trick-or-treat candy for your own house, or you're preparing things to give out. What are some advice you might give to people who want to be considerate good neighbors to all the kids in the neighborhood? You
know, I think if you can take that into consideration, I think that's a great message to send. Provide treats that are allergy safe or allergy friendly, and really to try to avoid the most common allergens would be peanuts, tree nuts. If you can avoid those two things, and then make sure that, you know, if there's milk, eggs, wheat, and soy, those make up pretty much the most common food allergies. Now, granted, you will see other things. We're seeing a lot of legume allergy and sesame allergy nowadays, but at least if you can avoid those things and stick to sugar-based candy, hard candy that is not processed or manufactured in a facility that also handles other allergy products that contain milk or nuts.
And let me take a step back on that, because I think that's important to realize. Contamination is as much of an issue as ingredients, isn't that a problem?
It is. I mean, if you really want to do it justice and be most considerate for your own family members as well as other people, I think if you avoid those things that have labels that say they may contain or processed in a facility, I think that's the only way we can almost guarantee that somebody's not going to get sick from candy that we're handing out.
Right. And Dr. Doshi, if someone might have some questions or want to find out some more information, do you have a website they can visit?
Yeah, you know, foodallergy.org is with the Food Allergy Anaphylaxis Network, and they've got some wonderful information on their website. They also have a handout section where you can print off PDF information on how to handle food allergies, information for parents, information on how to read labels, and for schools. So I think those things and having a plan in place, I think, is very important.
Okay. And Joan, for more information about this event or about downtown Clawson in general, where can they reach out? I know you gave us the website earlier, but...
downtownclawson.com, and there's a Facebook site that you can access from that page also. So.
Okay. And if someone wants to volunteer, are you asking for any help?
Oh, we would love help. We thrive on volunteers.
I spent last year holding a stop sign in the middle of the street so kids were safe going back and forth.
That's right.
Everyone, I'd like to trick or treat with my kids this year, so if anyone wants to come out and help hand that sign off to them, I'd appreciate it.
We are looking for crossing guards.
Okay. And I'm working with you a little bit on the campaign too, and I'm out there recruiting, and you can check out some information on the event on my websites and Facebook too. So thank you both for coming out and sharing some important information, and I'm looking forward to having us do the second annual allergy-friendly trick-or-treat event.
I hope we have wonderful weather for it.
Yes, yes. And a good turnout, I think, would be wonderful.
And just to wrap up too, I just thought of this, but you don't have to live in Clawson to participate, correct?
Oh, absolutely not. No, we want everyone to come and see how wonderful Clawson is.
So come and explore Clawson, learn about a great little town with a big heart, and have a good time, and especially if you have someone with a food allergy. We want Halloween to be a fun time for everyone. You've been watching Oakland Connection, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.